During the first 60 years or so after independence, a number of parliamentary acts were passed that had significant impact on the work of the registries. On January 1st, 1967, the Succession Act 1965 and the Registration of Title Act 1964 came into effect, which made an enormous impact on the social fabric of Ireland. And in 1978, the Land Registry became even more directly involved in government policy through its administration of the Landlord and Tenant Ground Rents No. 2 Act, which made it easier for homeowners to buy out the ground rent on their property. All titles registered in the Land Registry are guaranteed by the state. When a property transaction takes place, the title documents are filed and all relevant particulars concerning the property and its ownership are entered on a register called a folio, to which is attached a map of the holding. A glance at a folio can immediately identify the ownership and any registered encumbrances that affect the holding. The information recorded on the register is conclusive evidence of title to the property and any right, privilege, appurtenance or burden appearing thereon.
People are sometimes unaware that there always has been ongoing registration in the Land Registry, moving away from the Registry of Deeds system. The 1964 Act extended the remit of compulsory registration, and we have a situation now in Ireland where we'd have 85% of titles registered in the Land Registry with 90% of the land mass. But of course we must complete the register.
Today, the work carried out by the registries is as vital as ever. In fact, its importance cannot be overestimated. The secure systems of registration provided by the registries have played a significant part in promoting the prosperity and economic development of modern Ireland. Ownership of land can be quickly ascertained and mortgages secured to facilitate the huge amount of building and infrastructural projects that are taking place in Ireland. Many of these require investigation of title for huge tracts of land and would have been greatly impeded were it not for the work of the registries.
We have been at the centre of the property storm. I think that's the way we would have seen it. It's been a property boom, but from the registry's point of view, because obviously all transactions impact on it, just looking at figures that we had kept, say 1989, the Land Registry at that stage had moved to producing 72,000 cases. But last year, the registries actually completed, in legal transactions alone, 223,000 cases.
Land Registry customers can instantly access 1.7 million folios and related indices on its online service, landdirect.ie, and they can electronically submit applications for documents and registration.
It is one of the busiest e-government services, and whereas it was a complex system and many nail-biting moments to bring about what is a wonderfully integrated system, it's, from a user point of view, very straightforward and simple, as all great systems should be. And I think the simplicity of it is borne out by the use that our customers make of it. We have about 4,500 fee-paying transactions per day. Internally, all of our registration systems and processes are carried out through technology. All of our staff operate the technology, so it's a completely computerised system, and there's about 80% of our client base now using the technology completely.
All applications made in both registries are now processed electronically, with customers in the Registry of Deeds now able to access electronic records dating back to 1970.
At the moment, as I say, we have 85% of titles within the Land Registry system, 90% of the land mass, but we have to work now towards completing that register, because I think it's generally accepted that a full title registration system is a prerequisite for a full e-conveyancing system. We will have to complete our digital mapping project over the next 5 years. Already in the first year that has brought about considerable benefits for our customers, because they can now, again for the comfort of their own office, access the map. They access it to a seed point, quite a simple procedure. That will draw them into the folio, and through the folio they'll be able to find out all the information. One has to capture all of the old records before moving forward, because of course our whole system is based on all the information we have in our repository. And for example, in the folio system we had to capture 6.4 million pages of information to get to that stage. Now we have to do that with all our maps. A very exciting project at the moment is the EULIS project, and the idea of that is that the information that all of the various registries who are participating in this project have in their repositories would become accessible. We've positioned ourselves very well. We're at the forefront of registration systems, so we're very well placed to be very active players in whatever initiatives come from Europe. We've moved from what was for the most part a manual system to a fully computerised system, and we've done that at a time when the economy has been booming and when the property market has been just expanding. It was like changing the tyres when the car was moving. Staff really had to, adapt to quite considerable changes. But what we saw the technology is doing was basically freeing up intellectual capital. So we saw the IS systems as a way of supporting them and freeing them up, and I think they really can now see the huge benefits of that. Another exciting change, the latest act which has been brought in is going to bring about the Property Registration Authority. There will be a representative group who will form, and they will have representatives of our customers, of our staff. There will be people who will have conveyancing expertise, business expertise, who, as I say, will guide the registries towards greater and better things in the years to come.
The Registry of Deeds holds continuous records from 1707 that highlight momentous events in Irish history, such as Grattan's Parliament, the 1798 Rising, the Great Famine and the mass emigration that ensued. All of these are better understood thanks to the Registry's archives. From Quill and Ink to leading edge IT, in its 300 years of existence, the registries have both reflected and at times influenced the cultural, social and economic development of Ireland, and are of vital importance to both historians and genealogists.
The registries have gone through some very turbulent times. It does give an indication of how long we've been around, and I think that's what's so wonderful about celebrating the Tercentenary, 300 years of a system which has been in existence non-stop, without interruption. So even though the world went through turbulent times, the registries, as I've often said and described, it's a little bit like the heart and the body. The heart tends to keep going away quietly and efficiently, performing a very essential service. It's only if it ever stopped that one would realise, oh, so that's what it does. So we hope it'll never stop, and that we'll continue to be able to steer our way, hopefully not through turbulent external times, but certainly steer our way through the changes that are still facing us, and that we'll do so quietly and methodically, and will never stop so that people will say, oh, so that's what they do.